My 8-string guitar is currently tuned so low, the bottom string is like floppy. I want to show you how I made the filthiest bass in the entire universe. Hi. Question. What if Dancing Mad from Final Fantasy VI was given a makeover to sound like Doom Eternal? Well, now there's an answer, because I, Jeffrey Day, have made it. And if you've ever played that classic Final Fantasy VI on Super Nintendo or even Game Boy Advance, you'll agree with me that this version of the song would be the background music to an incredibly short final battle where you shoot Kefka with a BFG 10,000. You can skip to the final product using the timestamp in the description below. However, I learned a ton of interesting stuff along the way, and I think you'd find it compelling. I have some extra music production goodies to share with you too, but do what you want to do. I'm just a disembodied voice in a YouTube video. I can't stop you. By the way, did you like the thumbnail art? That was done for me by an amazing artist named Kina. I highly recommend giving Kina a follow on Twitter or Instagram. You will not be disappointed. Links are down. Yeah, you know where they are. It's funny, I actually wasn't planning on covering this like a song from Doom, but your constant feedback and enthusiasm for the last one I did changed me for the better, so thank you all so much. Seriously. And just one more thing, shortly after this video's release, you'll be able to stream the song on a number of platforms, and if you're the more musical type, you can pick up your very own deep dive behind-the-scenes video, plus all of the separate audio tracks for use in your own musical journey. Links here! I feel like if you've used YouTube for like 10 seconds, you know where the links are. I'm just gonna stop saying it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to learn what it's like to be a timeless composer. See you in Japan. Nobuo Uematsu, a living legend, who dresses like if Charlie Brown retired and moved to a mountain village. Oh my god. Wow, yeah, he's been doing this for so long that there were crazy constraints. Can you imagine being forced to make music with only 3 or like 8 sound options? But like, because that's all there was, not because it's, you know, absolutely rad. His favorite theme is Terra's theme. Yeah, it seems like FF6 was the right choice for this video. I like that he has so much experience and intuition about music that he's able to see these trends for what they really are. I mean, music trends, not every trend. I'm gonna throw this out there and I might be wrong, but I think he's a piano player. So if he was trying to pivot over to a rock orchestra sound, like some Ingwe shit in Final Fantasy VII, then he must have been going really hard on the classical stuff for years. But he still uses classical as an inspiration / reference, so I can tell where his head's at. If you've heard Dancing Mad, you know what I mean. The original version is 17 minutes long. It has 4 movements which correspond to each stage of the final battle with Kefka. It's an actual symphony. Ha, nerd. Oh wow, he is so young in this. Those moves! Part of me thinks that he really loves classic rock and stuck it out in a career in classical inspired music so he could ultimately just be a goddamn rock star. Yeah, that's his jam, 60s and 70s rock. No wonder every Black Mage's album is just 40 minutes of him and organ solos. Whoa, self-taught. He has a degree in English, did you know that? No music degree. No matter what though, his core instrument is piano, and it seems like he writes like a piano player.
On the other hand,
Mick Gordon writes like a guitar player. In fact, he did guitar lessons prior to making music for games. I covered a bit about Mick in my Hades video, so instead I thought I'd share some new information I learned between that video and this one regarding his process. First of all, at the time of this video, he's 35, but he started doing audio for games professionally as early as, in his words, 17 or 18 years old. So he'd been a professional in the industry for 10 or 12 years before he even started on the first Doom game, which, I might add, probably explains why he has such an insane home studio. His first gig was on Destroy All Humans 2 as a sound designer, because Gary Scheinman was already the composer, and that guy had been doing stuff since the 90s. So it's fair to say that before Doom, Mick had been polishing his craft for a long time without having to spend his nights and weekends doing music. That makes a huge difference, trust me. Okay, second thing I learned was that Mick loves analog, but not just synthesizers. See this plugin? That's an analog channel strip emulator by Universal Audio. Requires what? Ooh, that's expensive. So it made me wonder, how much of a difference does running audio at extreme volume through a channel strip actually make? It turns out, a lot. And for the Doom soundtracks, he probably did this kind of thing all the time. I gave it a try, but I'm not made of money, so I went with a budget option. Stay tuned for that. And last but not least, Mick was kind enough to share a few photos of the inside of his infamous Doom compressor, in response to my last video where I attempted the effect with stock plugins. Besides the fact that my solution was a bit, amateur in comparison, the compressor itself is actually fairly approachable, so I took those Twitter photos and I rolled my very own accurate Doom compressor in Max for Live. It is sweet. Oh hey, see this pen? Mick's a notebook guy. You can see it right there. I do this too, and it seems like half of my music production process is just making plans and checking boxes. So, here's what I learned. Neither composer went to music school. They write differently because they learned on different instruments / gained experience in different music environments, and Mick excels at design and creating the cutting edge, while Uematsu excels at the art of songwriting in a traditional sense. I have come to the conclusion that making Dancing Mad sound like something Mick would produce is either going to sound awesome or really, really awful. Well, there's only one way to find out. Hello everybody, it's day one and I am doing some sound design. I noticed that a ton of Doom tracks have these whipping transition sounds. They're like, wah! So that's what we're doing. I have a couple of reversed kick drums here. This feels like a good time to use that fake analog channel strip I downloaded. Well, that's certainly spicier. Let's make a couple more. Hey, look, I got a new Doom compressor! I don't think human beings can comprehend how many videos I had to watch just to get sound to come out of this thing. But when you can take a sound effect and magically transform it into this. Well, I'm pretty happy about it. But why just have one band when we can have multi-bands? Check out this before and after. Doom, 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 doom. Hello again, it's day 2. I am done with the arrangement. The original Dancing Mad is super long, but most of it's just solo organ stuff. For a moment, I considered covering 100% of the song, but I decided I wanted to make a video before next year. If you want me to cover the whole track, I humbly request that you just pay my rent. I wonder if Uematsu is as complicated of a person as his music seems to be, so I just did something that sounds absolutely ridiculous. I wanted to sketch out what the song was gonna sound like at the end, but I didn't really use any fancy instruments. You know what? Okay, here's the original. And here's the sketch. I mean, it works, it's just, it sounds ridiculous.
Double bass and then the double bass and then the double bass.
Okay, moving on. Although it has that heavy metal choir, Doom doesn't have a lot of traditional orchestral choir stuff in it, but it's a very recognizable part of Dancing Mad. I'm gonna try to make it work. I've got this choir library that makes these random syllable sounds, which they sound good, they just don't mean anything. This organ part is definitely the least Doom thing. It's so melodic. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it. It'll come to me. Hi there, how are you? I'm great. It's day 3. I just finished making some cool sounding drums. Everything originally came from a drum set, but I separated out some stuff so that I could make it really choppy sounding. The mute button is getting a lot of use right now. I want to show you how I made the filthiest bass in the entire universe. I made a sound in a humble synthesizer. Next, we analogify it with a channel strip. And finally, completely ruin it. And when it's done playing, we can make it disappear in a puff of smoke. This is what you keep telling yourself, Geoff. Just because there's a microphone, you don't need to voice act. I'm getting a lot of use out of this channel strip situation. Hello, it's day 4 now, I think, and we're gonna do guitar and bass. My 8-string guitar is currently tuned so low, the bottom string is like floppy. I didn't anticipate that I would probably really actually need a 9-string guitar for this. Like, the lowest I need to play is B, and that's the lowest note on a 5-string bass. Well, that reminds me, we gotta do bass. Hey, remember that organ part that was giving me some trouble? I remember Mick Gordon said something about synths from the 80s, so I just started there. And the Korg Triton coming in for the win with my favorite fake guitar sound of all time. Good morning, it's day 5 and we need to add some ambient stuff for the last section. Well, that was quick. Hey, did anyone know this plugin has like a mouth mode? It's cool, I just took some random noise. And now it sounds like some old dude breathing into a didgeridoo. Okay, we're almost done. Let's do one more spot check. Oh, we got something here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we do. Well, I think I ought to get started on the video. But until then, it's time for me to get my beauty sleep. All right, see you in a couple of days. All right, you timeline skippers, it's time for Dancing Mad in the style of Doom Eternal. Enjoy. So, did you like it? Great, I have some goodies for you. First thing, you can stream this track on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Music, and as always, get the high-quality 24-bit WAV file for free over on Bandcamp with the option to pay whatever you want, but only if you feel inclined. It's absolutely not required. Second, for the low price of a Dunkin' Donuts medium coffee culotta, you can grab yourself a 50-minute long, in-depth breakdown of how this track was put together. And just like the massive calorie count of a culotta, this video will give you a crippling stomachache. Nope, that's not it. Fair warning, although the content is fine, the voiceover has a couple of imperfections. I tried something different for recording this live stream style of video. Didn't work out as well as I hoped. The next one will be better, but hopefully you can get past that. While you're over there downloading the deep dive video, you might even notice that I stemmed out all of the audio tracks for this project and included that in the video download as free bonus content. To roughly reconstruct the song, all you gotta do is load up your audio software and line all the clips up so they play at the same time. Okay, last thing is for those of you with Ableton Live Suite Edition. You can now head over to maxforlive.com and pick up my raw Doom compressor device. With this, you will quickly discover how much Doom was missing from your sound design. Guys, I did all this for you, I'm really tired. I make content like this because I want to be better known in the game music industry. But most of all, I make it because I know you like listening to it. I appreciate every like, I read every single comment, and I'm really enjoying the conversations I'm having with you on Twitter and Instagram. So let's keep it going. I've been Jeffrey Day, you've been great, and I hope to speak with you soon. See ya!